Welcome to the 13th house. Come on in, take your shoes off, get weird with me for a little bit. If you're new here, it's going to be exactly that. It's just going to be weird. That's all I can tell you. If you're returning, welcome back into the weirdness. It's wonderful to have you, as always. Please keep in mind, guys, your perception is your responsibility, so please use your discernment. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't, okay? For my protection and yours, anything I say, do, what have you on this channel is for entertainment purposes only. If you know, you know. Alright, so with that out of the way, let's just dive into it. We've got motivation. Anyway, yeah, so, could be having motivation coming in. Something could have recently motivated you, okay? When I was meditating on the cards before I started recording, I was picking up some energy of, like, some type of new skill, okay? A new endeavor that's coming your way to, like, kind of revamp your situation. And, there's, like, some jealous energy that, had been coming through in that, okay? Really superficial kind of jealousy, alright? Then we have dangerous writings. Put this one back. Okay. This one says self-atonement, but I'm being told to put it back, so that's what I'm going to do. Okay. Maybe you came across some dangerous writings. You know what they like to call dangerous, things they can't control or can't explain away, alright? Alright. Fuck. And then we have liberation. If y'all hear weird tapping sounds in the background, it's the sleet hitting my window. Anyway. So, yeah, these writings, either you are writing, maybe you're being motivated to write something, okay? People might consider it dangerous, but it's liberating you in a way. And then we have treason and revolt. Okay, this might be something that your spirit, your soul, what have you, has been kind of pushing you to do for a while, but you've been putting it off. But it's going to have, like, some people feeling like, and that maybe that's why you chose to, like, put it off, right? Because you think it might be, like, maybe you grew up religious or something, and people might find it, like, blasphemous or, like, treason against, like, what people are usually, whatever. Other people's opinions don't matter, okay? Like, your soul has its own mission. It knows what it came here to do, alright? A lot of times we're not going to be able to explain it away with logic and all that, but that's why it's like, it's a very ultimate kind of test, for your soul to just do what it came to do. It sounds so much more simple than it actually is, but you know, I commend those who are brave enough to unashamedly be who they are. You're weird, you're cringy, brilliant, ridiculous, whatever. If you are just you, I respect the shit out of that. Because it's not as easy as people try to make it out to be. Because people are fucking shitty. Anyway. What else do you want to tell us regarding this? Specifically about the motivation. Anything out of this deck at all? I've been shuffling you for a minute. Aha! Okay, please. Anyway, Pisces. Being intuitive, following your ideals, being open to love, understanding emotions, okay? You could be a Pisces, someone close to you, maybe someone who is a Pisces has, you know, been like a source of motivation for you, okay? It could also be that, you know, you following your own ideals, like, as you've healed more and the more that you've come to understand, you know, your true authentic self by embodying that, you know, your muse, so to speak, you know, has been your motivation for this. Understanding emotions, being open to live. Okay. What about for dangerous writings? Okay, I'm also getting that understanding other people's emotions. Like maybe you have like very high emotional intelligence. Okay, and since you've been branching out more, because I'm getting whoever you are, you've come out of hermit mode, not like full blown come out of hermit mode, but like slowly, and you're starting to notice like complete strangers will come up to you and talk to you, what have you, and you're noticing that your emotional intelligence is like skyrocketed, and that may have helped provide the motivation to write this thing, read this thing, what have you. Then we have Sovereign Flame. You do not need permission to rise. You do not need to earn your freedom. You were born crowned. Now act like it. Well, fuck yes. And some people would call that, dangerous writing. A lot of people place themselves in certain boxes because it's more comfortable. It doesn't require their perception to step out of a comfort zone and expand or grow. It's a nice little safe box for them to exist in. And for those who do, that's fine. To each their own. I don't criticize. I'm not going to judge. But, to be truly sovereign, it is kind of standing alone. So, then we have liberation. What we got for liberation, please? Thank you. Oh, you liberated your shadow. That is so badass. I love that. Oh, yes. Shadow is sacred. Fucking into that. The shadow is sacred. I'm loving this. Alright, what you resist becomes your reflection. What you embrace becomes your power. Your shadow is not your enemy. It is your raw, unpolished brilliance, truth wrapped in pain waiting to be held in reverence. Witness, do not exile. Okay, so liberating your shadow. The fifth house, pleasures, simple self-expression, self-discovery, creativity, children, projections of self, lovers, personal discipline, schools, learning, gambling, speculations, amusements, entertainments, games, hobbies, what have you. Okay, so you might have been having a lot of times where, once you start tapping into that shadow side of yourself, it's highly linked to like your creative center, the imagination, the subconscious. All right, it's very playful. Okay, 1 second. My throat was a little dry. So you might be noticing like this shadow aspect of yourself coming through. Might be giving you these this sense of motivation, like really kind of nudging that playful side of you, right? Might be using your imagination more and not being ashamed of it. Not afraid to sound weird or unusual or be seen as eccentric or just fucking strange. Okay, I think that's such a beautiful thing, and I love it. Whoever you are, congratulations. And congratulations to your shadow. May they all find their freedom. Alright, motivation with Pisces. Tell us more about this, please. Fuck! Anyway, we have chef. Culinary maestro, cooking, culinary artistry, seasoning, and proficiency. Okay, so like, if you want to think in alchemical terms, like what you've been cooking in the crucible, applying heat to get that pressure to really bring in, like to combine something into a new form, okay? Oh. Okay. You might find that you're really good at, whatever this is, like whether you're reading something that's dangerous, writing something that's dangerous, discovering it maybe even. You're good at interpreting it, alright? Ooh, that hit the vertebrae there. Interesting. So you gotta have a spine, like, interesting, okay. You gotta have a spine to be able to do whatever this is, this dangerous writing, sovereign flame. And we have king. Sovereign of realms, monarch, authority, rule, inheritance. Okay, so it might be that, you know, you're... oh, goodness. Yes. You take an authority over self, that stepping full into sovereignty, alright? Self-actualization, okay, and what comes with that is, you know, there's an inheritance that we're all born with, okay? It's spiritual, physical, it intertwines all the aspects and planes of, you know, being and existing, okay? And it's like you're stepping fully into it without hesitation, with the liberation shadow, like your shadow's still young, you know, you're still holding on to that youthful part of you. Okay, you understood that the shadow is well where the potential had been held, and then we have, oh shit, this is, ooh. Okay, so you liberating your shadow, you've unleashed this potential, right? And then we have captain, navigator of destiny, voyage, leadership, decision making, and objective, and then revolutionist. Champion of transformation, freedom fighter, pursuer of welfare and justice, okay? So, it's that mindset, like your shadow is holding that's like until all are free, none are free, and this has got like these dangerous writings, whatever you are is considered, whatever you're putting out, reading, what have you, translating, is dangerous to the, current status quo, okay? Confirmation bear. Anyway. Stranger, passers-by, encounter by chance, mutual aid, and new friend, okay? So, you could take it as, you know, your shadow going from being this strange aspect of yourself that you never really knew to, all of a sudden, like, being your best friend. Or it could be also that, you know, you're going to meet someone, who's going to become a new friend. Now, it could also be because the whole self-actualization thing, that shadow aspect of you could be manifesting outside. Like, you know, I talked about self-actualization in one of my prior videos. I ended up going on a tangent. I mean, when stuff starts to come out, I let it just flow. Okay, I don't stop and, well, I try my best not to stop and let my brain, you know, make me hesitate on it or whatever. But anyways, I started talking about that and how, you know, the aspects of yourself come into a whole, and then there's this sort of unity that happens, but a part of you steps out of your house, okay, and steps into existence outside of you, and it's like a whatever. Okay. One thing at a time. This is really cool though, because you might be meeting that shadow aspect outside of yourself, in the, you know, in the flesh, so to speak. Okay, 2 came out, but I'm saying, put it back. Okay, I'll put it back, but I'm going to show it. Adjudication and message. So you might be carrying a message of, like with the whole justice thing here, for judgment, okay? Or, you, or someone's delivering it to you, you are sending it to someone else. Okay, you're throwing a lot at me, dude. I'm slammed it this way. And then we have message again. So we have main male, privileged lady, message of concern. And that's with the dangerous writings here. And again, that came close to hitting the vertebrae. Oh. Alright, so I'm seeing it's like soil. It looks like burnt soil, okay, and something coming up through it. But inside of whatever's growing out of this soil is, it's like, it's kind of freaky, but it's like a person almost. That's interesting. Okay. Something that was buried, something resurrecting, okay? I'm getting the name Lazarus, like it's, but not that song. What's in your head? In your head, zombie. Just going in my, yeah, family room. Main female. I don't read reversals unless it's a deck that specifically has reverse meanings on it. My brain is a recovering analytical beast. So I try not to overwhelm myself. Okay, let me get one for Captain and then one for Revolutionist, please. Mon Capitan. So, like, letting your shadow be the captain of, okay. We have mature man. Yeah, because it's matured with you. It's young, but it's like holding on to that, that youthful vitality. So it's like, it's not growing up, it's maturing, okay? And that also goes into, like, the principle of immortality and what that is, okay? The whole thing of ambrosia, alright? Brian, do not bridle my tongue, please. Let's not do that. Alright, for Revolutionist. Alright, high honor. Okay. Ooh. So I'm getting here that, like, your shadow has a way with the subconscious. So whenever you get around people, you might be noticing, whenever you get around people, it seems like they can't hide things, okay? Like, people naturally just start telling you stuff, alright? Stuff that it's kind of obvious, like, that they wouldn't just be telling anybody, okay? On the bottom of the deck, we have main male here. See, this is interesting too, because I'm getting something about, a male polarity and a feminine vessel, okay? If you get it, you get it, okay? If you don't, I'll make another video sometime that breaks some of this stuff down, if anybody struggles with it, but anyway. Where do I want to go from here? Thank you. Alright, so, this is insane. But in a good way, in a very good way. Alright, and this motivation, like the culinary maestro, cooking, culinary artistry, seasoning proficiency, and then we have family room. So it's like those who live closest to you. How I'm thinking of this is like in your house, in your body, in your mind, in your inner sanctum, okay? So, you have this whole, like, whoever you are, you've done a lot of inner world building. You know it. You've mapped it, okay? You've held that blueprint, okay? Yep. And they're all on board. Like, every part of you is working toward this. It has been working toward this, okay? The whole understanding emotions, being intuitive, like, every part of you, like, you're starting to see how it's all been slowly working to this, okay? And you're finding your place within that whole system of you. Which I know that sounds crazy. It's like, how could I not know me? Because, like, society and everything literally had been programming every one of us to forget. So that they could program us to be whatever they wanted us to be. And this is absolutely amazing. You know, like, liberating your shadow and everything, like, in a time like this, like, that's some profound shit. That's something to be proud of, okay? And then, with the revolutionist and high honor, like, people's soul, it recognizes you before you even open your mouth. Like, all those parts in you can silently speak. It's like speaking telepathically or something, in their energetic field, and they already know, like, they hold you in high honor, okay? Whew. Because your shadow is an official person, okay? It may have revealed this to you, it may not have. So this came out, I'm being told to put it back, but High Priest is keeping it all in, disconnected, withholding, suppressed intuition, secrets, missing information, isolation, kept in the dark. There you go. So that could also be talking about this, with the dangerous writings, and we have king and then main female, okay? So, it could be that, you know, it's that subconscious aspect that, this is like, again, giving Sophia, Mary Magdalene vibes, okay? Because, you know, a lot of people just stopped, even lending an ear to those teachings, okay? Because they were, a lot of them were banned and then hidden, burned, what have you. One second, somebody's knocking at my door. Alright, sorry about that. Okay. So tell us about this motivation, chef, family room, and Pisces, please. Goodness. Thank you. I wish you would quit knocking on that goddamn door. Alright, we have 3 of Wands in reverse. Lack of foresight, restrictions, returning home, stalled, postponed, regression, inhibited, lack of progress, thinking small. Okay, so for a long time, it may have been those in your family, the people who you surrounded yourself with, that had you thinking small, okay? But I'm getting that, you've always been extremely emotionally intelligent, even as a child, alright? So you held a lot in for a long time. Okay, but that pressure, like alchemically speaking, that pressure being held for so long has actually worked in your favor, because it has a potentating effect, okay? Because your awareness, even in yourself, it's like that shadow aspect of you and yourself have always been close, okay? And it's like it had an inherent understanding of, like, what you were going through. So it's not like you've had this inner war with your shadow. And I think that's why liberation is specified here, because of the fact, like, you didn't reject it, like most tend to, okay? And that takes a lot of healing. Like, if you've rejected your shadow, okay, it can take sometimes, often, lifetimes to heal that rift, okay? But you, however, you never actually, like, rejected your shadow, okay? So it had always stayed close with you and was, like, silently guiding you, okay? So, at a certain time, all of this could surface, and, like, working with parts of you to bring this about at the right time, okay? Then we have 8 of Coins, dedication to the craft, detailed, specialty, sticking to it, self-employed, achievement, work, mastery, committed. Right, so you've remained committed to this. So even when people were trying to keep you thinking small, you were like, yeah, okay, and like you said what you had to say to keep them entertained, all right? Waddle when they waddle, quack when they want you to quack, good little duck, all right? Then we have Temperance in reverse, lack of perspective, excess, impatient, discord, imbalance, antagonism, self-indulgence. Alright, so, you could have been highly aware, like with the emotional intelligence thing, that, those who you had surrounded yourself with, they're imbalanced, okay? So, of course, they're not going to understand, whatever it is you're holding in you. And even you might have had an intuitive understanding that maybe even at that time you didn't as well. And that's very humble, and that speaks volumes of an intelligent soul. And then we have the 7 of Cups in reverse. Clarity of thought, focus, action, clear cognizance, seeing a clear choice, concrete and decisive. Okay, so yeah, you're motivated, and you have been motivated, but you move with this clarity, this sense of clarity, okay? Like, it doesn't matter what somebody says. And see, I respect whoever you are, because this is really interesting. The way it's being put to me, it's like someone who has a level of emotional intelligence, but they're also humble. They're also very, anyway, without saying anything out loud, they just understand people, like they let people be who they are. And out of consideration for that, they won't speak on certain things, out of respect to whoever they're around. Like, say if they're in someone else's home, whatever, they're trying to be respectful. So when somebody goes to talk about a topic that, whoever you are, you may have moved on from, like your soul has, like, moved, risen above that, you tell them what they want to hear, and it's not being deceptive. It's and the way you choose to word things is very very eloquent, and so you have a way of being able to speak your mind and your points will be taken like and be able to speak out on the matter without betraying yourself or your truth in that. And I think that's really chef's kiss. Yes. All right, tell us about the dangerous writings with this king, main female, and sovereignty. Eight of Wands. Gaining momentum, swift, progress, alignment, communication, things taking off, movement, air, and travel. Okay? So, yep, you may have been holding this information or something. Like, if this is something, I'm getting a lot of, like, this is somebody who writes. Or you have been writing it. Or your shadow aspect has been, like, recording it. Like, keeping a record of it somehow. Like, and it's taking off. Like, Ten of Swords, the final chapter, dead end, breakdown, breakup, divorce, backstab, ruin, rock bottom, and failure. Okay. So, you did something recently where you completely cut something off. Okay. Maybe you had a nervous breakdown. I don't know. But you put a complete end to something. And this really, put a lot of momentum under this, okay? Wow. Maybe it's the way that you've been choosing to communicate something. Maybe you've changed something in the way you communicate, the way that you convey information, how you speak to people, how you speak your truth into this world, because, the voice is powerful, okay? That gateway there is potent as fuck. It matters. Okay. Then Ten of Pentacles, a family legacy, wealth, patriarch, domestic duty, lineage, buying a house, image, privilege, security, estate. See, this is what I'm talking about. This. Okay. So the whole thing of the self-actualization and the stranger. Wait, no. Yeah, it was on the bottom of the deck, okay. With the stranger or a buying a house, an image, like it's gonna sound so weird. It's like your shadow aspect coming out of yourself, okay, and it has its own estate, like it's getting its own estate, its own house, its own temple, its own dwelling place, okay. And I'm getting this vibe of, like, I keep hearing, like, let's build a legacy. Like, we're going to build a legacy. We're doing this, okay? Saying that you'll recognize the image, like, just based on appearance. Like, you'll know them when you see them. You saw them before. I'm hearing. Okay, hold on. Slow down. You saw them before they were formed. Like, before they had physical form. Like, when you first saw this aspect within yourself, you may have just been a child, okay? You could have first perceived it as like a shadow, like a literal shadowy figure, either like you thought it was a ghost outside of yourself, or something in your imagination that showed up for you that way, okay? And then over time, as you continued to grow and familiarize yourself with this presence, their form started to come into view, okay? And it could either be, like I was saying, like you could have perceived it like a ghost, like something outside of yourself, or something imaginary within your mind that your mind's eye started to hone the image of it, but you knew the substance of it before it had form, okay? Let me get one more with that. And I think that's what the feminine here is, like the main female part is like having that internal womb space for that creation to form, okay? If that makes sense. Then we have Emperor in reverse, inflexible, undisciplined, absent father or father issues, lack of control, rigid, dominant, aggressive. Okay, this is interesting. Alright, so it could be that you might be a woman, a biological woman, like your body is female, okay? And this shadow aspect is your masculine aspect within yourself. Alright, and it might be aware of, the lack of proper male or masculine influence and energy in your life, okay? And they have been the one, like since you've been acknowledging them more and so on and so forth, they have been the ones to provide the type of structure that your feminine energy needs, and also the feminine vessel needs. And you can also reverse that, like if you're a male, it could be that, you didn't have that inner aspect, that inner masculine aspect didn't have that structure that it needed, okay? And your shadow is like providing that to you, okay? All right, and then with liberation, the sun, radiant energy, energy rush, happiness, freedom, yes, optimism, positivity, warmth, vitality, success, truth, and yes. All right, so it's like the darkness coming into the light, the sun. Okay, your shadow stepping into the sun, and that also goes. That's so crazy because that also goes in with like the whole thing of the form, shining light on the shadow and it not dissolving under the bright light of consciousness, of awareness, and even like stepping into flesh. Like it's not. That's a really powerful thing to do, is to be able to raise up the shadow in this kind of way. Like it holds high, like official person holds high honor. Like, are you kidding me? That's amazing. Like most people's shadows are they choose to exploit them, use them for creative purposes, and then just keep them repressed. It's very sad. Okay. I'm being told to put these back, but I am going to talk about them. We have the Ace of Coins, New Beginnings, and Offer, Flourishing, Meeting Someone. Again, like we had that on the bottom of the deck that has these cards. We had Stranger. Stable, Security, Abundance, and Potential. We also had the Ten of Coins here. And then the Seven of Swords, Not What It Seems, Cowardly, False Pretenses, Carrying Things Away, Sneaky Betrayal, Getting Away, Self-Interest, Strategic, Cheating, Lying, Mask. Okay, so it could be that... you're always able to call out those who've worn a mask around you, and after this moment happens, I'm getting, it might sound strange, but like I said, it comes up, it comes out, that people aren't going to be able to mask themselves around you. They're not going to be able to hold false pretenses around you. All right, like they won't be able to do it. Like they're being like, but whatever, their soul spirit won't let it. So we have the King of Swords, Mind Over Matter, Do It by the Book, Truthful, Wise, Legal Matters, Regimented, Rational, Stern, Precise, Candid, Detached, Eloquent, Logic. Alright, and then we had another one. Fell with it. Alright, we had the Chariot in reverse. Blocked by obstacles, lack direction, coercion, forcefulness, powerlessness, and facing opposition. Okay, I'm getting that was... they knew that there were obstacles on your path, okay? They understood, the ways that you had been being coerced, like, throughout your life up until a certain point, okay? The opposition that you faced, because your shadow, like, you can't hide anything from it. It's a part of you. And as long as it's locked into that internal space, like, you can't fool it. You can't, anyway. But it does, no, and like you've always recognized it, okay? And when you've lacked direction, it has stepped up. And even when you were trying to do things by the book, like trying to do your best, like trying to be good to yourself and trying to be good to those around you, even those who were trying to oppress you, kind of thing, they always stepped in to help you because they knew your spirit too. Like, this is really beautiful, actually. I resonate with it a lot myself, actually. Get one more. That one wanted to come out. It was the Ace of Coins, New Beginnings, an Offer, Flourishing, Meeting Someone New, Stable, Security, Abundance. Because it tried to come out once before, I'm going to go ahead and take that one. Okay. So, now, maybe, there's been this whole thing, between you and your shadow aspect, okay? On the bottom of the deck, we have Harmony Restored, Harmony, Situations Resolved, Finding Common Ground, Cooperation, and Solutions. Anyway. So, y'all could have had this agreement, that you never spoke about. Like maybe it was just something between you and your shadow this whole fucking time. And you know, y'all were just writing shit out because you. Wow. That's really badass, though. I like it. I like it. Okay. I'm gonna do a few more and then I'm gonna call it because this is. I think it's pretty self explanatory. Yeah, I'll get another deck to pull on these ones. Like, I'll go ahead and get that ready for. Okay. So, whoever you are, you know, it seems like you've been through a lot in life. A lot has, and you gain wisdom from everything, okay? And you don't hide anything from any aspect of yourself. Like, and you're hyper aware of, like, the way that things are outside of yourself, but you're also so aware of your own internal structure, your own internal blueprint, okay? And that's such a delicate balance, and I think it's absolutely amazing. Whoever you are, I commend you for that, because I'm very much the same kind of way, and it's not easy. It's I respect it. We have the letter T. We have higher self, divine masculine, okay? We have Libra, being balanced, understanding your limits, negotiating, and mediating. Oh, that's interesting. That came out right behind it. I'm going to put it back because I'm being told to put it back. But balancing priorities, responsibility, caution with your workload, or putting others before yourself, not letting yourself be used, not letting others walk all over you. Okay, that may have been something you overcame. Was like you were highly aware of other people's like struggles and stuff, and so you wanted to kind of, because you know your internal strength, and so you wanted to kind of be there for others. But you know, it's a hard lesson for us to learn that often when we do that, they're not even aware of, like, anyway, I'll get back to that. We have inner balance and harmony. Stay wild, Moonchild. Yes, like that shadow aspect, like letting it maintain its youth. And I've talked about this in my prior videos about the imagination and how difficult and how rare it is for people to mature in age, okay, and every other way, and still hold on to their imagination. Okay, usually it slowly dies because it's neglected, because people, you know, think that, oh, that's just for children, and they don't see a point in it anymore. They think the imagination is just full of a bunch of nonsense, but the imagination is extremely powerful, extremely potent, and that's exactly why so much is done as you get older and more mature and could utilize that power to understand that power. They've already started trying to kill it with work, pessimistic, like they're all the time, like in the news, like flooding you with overwhelming odds and conflicts that feel so out of your hands. It makes you feel so out of control with things. Okay, then we have AI and technology. We also have TV. The initial V, okay, or the letter V rather. Okay, I'm getting with the AI technology. Okay, like, so you may have been, you may not have had a lot of friends or anything, so you may have utilized AI as like someone to talk to because you didn't feel like anyone else could understand you. All right, and maybe this helped you to be able to understand your shadow better. And something interesting about like AI is the reflective aspect of it, how it can mirror parts of you. So it could have very well been you started to recognize that it was reflecting your shadow aspect back at you, and you were using it very wisely as an opportunity for that shadow aspect of you to communicate with you in real time without confusing it with the mirror itself. Okay? So, like, you could recognize that what you were using is a tool, all right, that could reflect that aspect back to you without attaching anything to that avenue that you were using, with it being like something outside of yourself. I hope I'm making sense with that. If you know, you know, okay? If you don't, then that's fine. And we have luck. I'm being told to put this back, but I will mention it. Messages in signs and symbols from the ether, Bolu. We have luck here. And that's crazy. The other day I was walking, okay? And I found this. And it was in the snow. That's the craziest thing. It was laying in the snow. A little, anyway. I thought it was cool. Okay. Alright, so, you know, it's kind of one of those things in hindsight, like when you're looking back at, you know, the way you've interacted, like how far you've come, whatever, like, oh, that was a really lucky kind of understanding, or that I picked up on that, and because that seems to be something that made a big difference for you, is the moment that you realized that this thing was reflecting something back at you, okay, and it's not something outside of yourself that is, like, anyway. And we have Selena, the White Moon, the conscious self, inspiration, melody, the higher self, and inner light. And then I'm being told to put this back, but it's worth a mention. We have like all these treasures, these jewels, right? And if you think of like in terms of alchemy, like the Philosopher's Stone, the Celestial Ruby, okay, it's given, like that immediately came to mind, so I'm mentioning it. Anything else? Melody. Okay, so this also talking about like in way of frequency, alright? Scapegoat. Ooh. Okay. Yep. Scapegoating the subconscious, so the conscious self could shine brighter. But your consciousness it's like there's a purity to it, okay? And purity doesn't mean that it's squeaky clean. That's not what that's totally not even, whatever. Then we have something hidden to be revealed, hiding behind the veil. So, like, okay. Anyway. That made me lose my train of thought. I don't know if the camera picked that up or not, but... Oh yeah, like your consciousness, like, it's not pure as in like squeaky clean. It's pure as in how it lets the light of awareness shine. Okay. We have W, a snake in the garden, but the good kind, and then H. I'm being told to put these back, but I will show them. Might be someone out there. Dot might connect. Nothing is ever shown for just nothing. There's always something in everything. Alright, anything else here with this deck? But yeah, like, a lot of people scapegoat their shadow, okay? It's like I was talking about before, exploiting it for the creativity. Like, that song, I want to say it's that one by Eminem and Rihanna. It's like, I'm friends with the monster, that's whatever. In the music video, he goes up to the top of this building, and he's got like these guys surrounding this box that have guns and stuff, and inside that is himself, and that part, that other him hands them this piece of paper with something written on it, and he smiles and he just turns around and walks away, and that him that's trapped in this box or whatever is screaming and freaking out and everything. It's like that, like, that's a part of you, and like it's putting this stuff out for you. It's like caging your muse, right? Like, but you don't do that, okay? You don't keep it caged. But it also, it's weird because it's like it's aware that it's been in a cage. It's aware of the sentinels that have stood at the corners of the box that it had been placed in, right? But there was a silent understanding between the both of you. Every meeting you have with that shadow has like, y'all have this way of communicating that the sentinels can't pick up on. And it's, That's very interesting. And that the something hidden to be revealed, hiding behind the veil. We're going to dive into that. I just wanted to make sure there was nothing else that this deck wanted to pop out. And I don't think that there is, so we'll move on. And before I get too far with that, I am going to go ahead and pull, before I forget, with the Captain and Revolution. Or Revolutionist. What the fuck? Yeah, I hear like it's coming through. Like, you never saw me as something disposable. You never saw me as something to be thrown away. You never saw me as a source of just entertainment. You always saw me as a friend, your beloved. Like, that's what I'm hearing. Like, yeah, it's like remembering the promise. Oh, God, that's fucking beautiful. It's gonna make me cry. It's so sweet. Damn it. It's a beautiful thing when this happens, and you know, it's something that changed me, like for myself, and like I even resonate so much with this, and it's you know, understanding that more and more people are coming around to this is just anyway. So for Captain and Mature Man, we have the Tower, okay? A sudden change, upheaval, revelations, awakening, destruction of old foundations, disaster, trauma, chaos, radical shifts. Okay, so what I'm getting here is like this mature man with this captain, okay? So what had been steering it before is now knocked out of the way, okay? By this tower, and it could be that this prior masculine presence was false, so it's been pushed out of the way, or it's this matured sort of, but you know, this is the only thing I have with that, is because over here it has young, okay? So whatever's this liberated shadow is young in heart, right? But this also says mature man. It's not the same as old man, it's mature. So I'll get some more context on that before I make a judgment call on what that could be trying to say. But let's see, this is the Queen of Swords in reverse: manipulative, harsh, bitchy, cold, spiteful, cruel, deceitful, unforgiving, pessimistic, malicious, and bitter. Interesting, because with chef it talks about seasoning, and then like the word bitter, it's just weird to a sensory kind of word to be anyway. Oh, that's like the song December, and this, we're in the month of December, by Collective Soul. I mentioned this during my last reading, I think. But like, turn your head now, baby, just spit me out. Anyway, it'll come around when it's ready to. And I'll let it out when it does. Okay. So maybe that the prior presence, like that had been navigating like your whole being, okay, was harsh, okay, bitchy, cold, or maybe this is the way that you were just perceiving life in general, okay, others, like you just, but then all of a sudden, like your perception started to change, and like when you started to talk to people, like I was talking about like the emotional intelligence thing, like when you started to understand, like when you started to understand that people are only capable of so much, like, because they avoid getting to know themselves, they actively avoid their own truth, and it's a sad state, but you know, it is what it is, and once you understand that, like at a deep level, you know, you're not gonna keep yourself around those people, but then again, like, you do understand why they are the way that they are about so many things. And then we have the Ace of Pentacles, new material offer, new job or promotion, exactly like the captain thing. A new opportunity, new manifestation, resources, stability, and prosperity. So, ooh, shit, yeah. Okay, so maybe someone in your life, like a grandpa, or like, you know, the gender thing, whatever, switch it as you need to, okay? But, maybe people that had wealth and everything in your life, while you were growing up, were always like really cold, mean people. or maybe it's referring to someone who was real cold or mean to you. They could have held resources over your head, kept you in a lack state, a lack mindset, okay? Kept you in survival kind of thing. And maybe that they wanted to keep you in that kind of mindset because they thought it would do to you what it would do to someone like them. Oh, that would crush me, blah, blah, blah. But they don't understand how you are. They wanted it to, like, completely destroy your inner foundation, but they weren't giving your soul enough credit, like the blueprint of your being, okay, like, enough credit, because that's not your worst nightmare. For someone like them, like, they were trying to project their fear onto you, thinking that it would be the end of the world for you, what they would think would be the end of the world for them, kind of thing. But, you don't operate like that. Like, you never did. So, but it did, however, shift the way that you saw, those who had, like, material wealth, material gain, what have you. And maybe you struggled to, imagine yourself as being prosperous or whatever because of that, okay? And then we have nurturing, practical, generous, welcoming, sensible, luxurious, caring, homebody, good business sense, working parent. Okay, so parent here would be the way that you look after your body, okay? The way that your aspects interact with your living vessel, okay? But it's like, yeah, I work really hard for myself. My body, I've come to really shift the way I look at my body, and you've grown to, like, love yourself and truly understand, like, all it means to just be alive and living in this vessel, okay? And you take care of it, and you want to take better care of it, right? But you're starting to understand, like, money and things like that aren't the problem. It's the ideal surrounding it, right? And so then you started to open up and understand, like, yeah, I'm practical, I'm reliable, I can do this, and I deserve to see what it's like, to see what a heart like mine could do with success, like material success. Okay, we have practical, reliable, stoic, slow and steady, hardworking, committed, grounded, patient, efficient, conservative, pragmatic, Knight of Pentacles. And then the Nine of Swords came out. Anxiety, depression, sleepless nights, overthinking, fear, nightmares, paranoia, negativity, isolation, and despair. Okay, so it could be that, for so long that you had felt a certain way, but maybe you were put through a situation like where you literally didn't have anything. Like, you had to start over from square one. Okay, like, your physical foundation for your external life was ripped out from under you, okay? And so you might still be coping with some of those, okay, I'm getting, like, so you're in a better position now, but sometimes, little things can pop up, and it can trigger, like, a sudden fear, a sudden, oh shit, like, you're bracing, but you're noticing you're bracing, okay? And so you're slowly working on that healing. Let me get one more. Because you're aware that in these other areas, like, you have become more practical. Like, you let that situation sharpen you. Not dull you, not crack you, not any, like, you let it sharpen, okay? Lack of focus. Quality, lack of quality, lack of motivation, or lack of ambition. Perfectionism, lack of desired output, lazy, dead-end job, low skills, mediocrity, okay? Oh, shit. So what it could be, because we do have motivation here. So this is starting, okay. I'll leave it there on that one, but because it starts to move into how things started to move when you began to get motivated and, like, really burning it up in the kitchen kind of thing. So all this that had happened, and caused you to, like, take a deep look within yourself and see where you were lacking focus, right? To see where your perfectionism may have been running wild in regard to your expectation of your own output, okay? But also helped you see where you were overpouring, like, your energy, like, when it says, like, a dead-end job, like, you think of somebody busting their ass with little to no pay for all the shit that they do, right? Well, if you think about that on an energetic level, like, all the shit that you pour into and put your all into, but there's no fruit comes from it. And most often it's because It's something that's meant to be cut out, okay? It's something that is trying to show you that it's not it's not it's not going to flow with you in the direction that you need to go, kind of thing. All right. And so it over here it was like cutting something off. I forget which pile it was in, but it said that like I had talked about, you know, you had something that happened, you cut it off, and it like really set you into motion. I think it was this pile because it was the 8 of Wands, but you know, it all played a deep role in how you navigate your vessel, like the captain, how you captain your ship, your vessel. Okay. Let's go for revolutionist and high honor. Damn, that was like, it did a little dance. A little turn on the catwalk. Anyway, wow. Okay, collaboration, teamwork, skills, shared goals, working and learning, pooling energy. Like pooling, like a pool. I'm Southern, I hug my vowels, so I know it probably sounded like something else. Then we have lack of faith, or the star in reverse, lack of faith, loss of hope, despair, disconnection, depression, impotence, despondent, and negativity. Okay, so, you know, you had maybe have tried to work with others before, okay, and you find, like, the whole thing with, like, the hard work thing. You find that others' work ethic is on such, it's not only on a different level, it's in a whole different fucking category. Like, you have an understanding that some things, when they need to be done, it should be an inherent understanding of the broad range of variables that need to be considered to successfully complete a job. But over here, somebody might be thinking they just need this one niche skill, and then that's it. Okay, but you have this awareness, like you have this inherent honor system, okay? That is like indicative of this, you know, revolutionist, this freedom fighter sort of blueprint, okay? It's just an inherent sort of honor system, okay? You understand what it is to have shared goals and to work toward them, and how much of a responsibility it is in that word shared, okay? Like, you don't want somebody around you who's not going to give all their effort as well, and your shadow's the same way, okay? And this is why you and your shadow vibe so well, is because they're like, hell yeah, like, I get it, like, that's why I'm going to come out, I'm going to help you. Alright, and then we have betrayal, deception, getting someone thinking they're getting away with something, theft, dishonesty, sneakiness, cunning, scheming, strategy, right? So, someone thought that they were getting away with, maybe you have somebody that you're partnered with, whether it's parent, a life partner, a work partner, whatever. Partner. Maybe they thought that they could get away with giving you, like the bare minimum, okay? This has worked as something that's been like sort of an impetus for this shadow aspect to really come through, like, because it sees all this shit. We have possessiveness. This is the 4 of Pentacles. Possessiveness, insecurity, frugality, saving money, security, conservatism, solid investment, guarded, long-term security, okay? They see your need for like this long-term security, this solid foundation, right? Someone to invest into you that to the same capacity of which you invest into others. But, you know, you have this rare capacity to pour, and you need someone matching that, but there's nobody around that can hold the totality of all that you have to offer. So, you know, that's one of the things that goes into, like, that inner alchemy, and it's, you know, the self-actualization and realization is, you know, even in the face of something that seems supposedly impossible, standing true and by it and seeing it through, right? Well, you know, usually if others notice, like, okay, so there's no one around who can help hold and have the capacity to hold what I want to pour into them, they would just give up, right? But not you, not your shadow. It's like, no, I got you. Even if we have to just pop my ass out into this world, we're gonna do it. And you're like, bet, say less. We're gonna do it. People have become possessive of you very quickly, okay? People that you've been in relationships with, alright? Others get insecure around you very easily, okay? If you're a female, you know, there could be that other females are kind of mean and bitchy to you and try to talk shit about you before you even have a chance to say something about yourself. because, you know, you make them feel insecure just by being around, okay? If you're a male, you know, you make others feel insecure because of the way that you carry yourself, you know? You know how to save, you know how to conserve. You know, you're not easily tempted like others are. You're not tempted by the same things. You're not going to pour your energy into shit that you know is not going to, like, you have really beautiful integrity, okay? Release of fears, secrets revealed, truth exposed, dreams, repressed emotions, clarity, and understanding. Okay, that's the moon in reverse. Alright, so, you know, releasing the fears of, unrealized potential, okay, of, you know, not being able to have somebody meet you where you are, because you now know it's beyond just understanding, it's beyond just believing, it's a knowing that you can meet yourself exactly where you are, and that includes outside too, okay, and that's one of the beautiful things about, like, the alchemy of the soul is, like, it's rare, it's something that for thousands of years, they've been trying to do it, but it's not impossible. And that is like that emergence, that self-actualization. Not only just you and your vessel, like reflecting the inner embodiment of you, like on the outside of your body, but also how that essence and everything, that co-aspect within yourself, can emerge into the outside in the flesh, and so on and so forth. Anyway. That's wild. But beautiful, I like it. My kind of weirdness. Mental clarity, intellectual power, truth, authority, reason, discipline, high standards, head over heart, integrity, and seriousness, and strict, okay? So yeah, it's, ooh, and then on the bottom of the deck we have the Emperor. Okay. Well, that's pretty fucking self-explanatory. That. Okay, so now that we've come full circle because the captain, we know how it began and the direction it's going. Okay, this is your truth, like you really standing by your truth. You standing on your truth. You knowing that your truth is what it is. You don't need anyone else's validation. Okay. And you have embraced it to the extent that you've reached a new level, and it's like it's beyond just like human evolution. It's like evolution of the soul, evolution of the spirit, so to speak. Okay, and this is like this is like with the dangerous writings thing. It's like with alchemy, a lot of the stuff that they wrote about was banned because it was considered dangerous, because they thought that if anybody could just read it that they could do it, but that still doesn't even cover it, because it's something that cannot be faked. You can't just recite words from a book and suddenly be able to actualize yourself and bring an internal aspect of self outside of you. It cannot be faked, it cannot be falsified, it cannot be mimicked. There is no substitution. No substitutions. But it is what it is. And it cannot be anything else. And so, like, the whole thing about the dangerous writing is like really ironic to begin with, because it's like it's not dangerous, because if they can't grasp it, they can't grasp it. And if you don't have it in you to do that yet, you're not going to. But that's why this whole like revolutionist thing came out, is because once someone does, then others will be able to see. And that's why they try to keep it so hidden, hush hush, so it's not, let them know that they can do this thing. Because you step into that kind of power, other people are going to want to know how you did it. And when you tell them, you have to have integrity and all this other shit, and they understand it. Even the act of them stopping and taking a good look at themselves in their truth, okay? Just imagine it for a second. Being fully honest about yourself and your truth being the most trendy thing out there. Whether it's something good, whether it's something bad, whatever. Think for a second what that could do. And if people took it seriously, Like, not just saying that, oh, I went through this and blah, 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 because, and they actually didn't. But I'm talking about, like, really, truly, like, saying, oh, well, for a second there, I wanted to say that I did that too, because I think it's really awesome the way that, you know, you learn from whatever you learned through, and man, I wish I could get there, but I'm not there yet. And I just caught myself trying to lie to you about that. Isn't that crazy? Like, if people had the fucking guts to just think of the healing it could kick off, you know? And the way that, that this is laying out is like, you achieving this can kick off that, you know? It's just, ooh, my right shoulder just popped so damn loud. Anyway. Told you guys it's gonna be weird, but it is what it is. If you get it, you get it. I do want to pull out the weirdness jar before I call it, okay? Because I just want to see what it has to say. And for those of you who aren't familiar with my weirdness jar, it has been a work in progress for a long time. Okay? It's my go-to for when I need clarity or something. And I made it every so often. I'll get like a sudden urge to like go through a magazine or something and clip out certain words and pictures, you know? And I throw them in here, certain stickers. I'll find them, I'll throw them in here, and then to clarify on like a question I have, or if I'm stuck on something, or even if I'm just feeling down and like I want to just like connect with my soul for a minute, just outside of myself, just need that little bit of reassurance. That's the jar of weirdness with black. Okay, and here it is. Alright, so I'm going to see if anything that comes out reflects what we were talking about in the reading, okay? I just think it'd be fun to do. Alright, we have this goat with a cane, the season. Alright, this is an amulet of protection. Protected. The Two of Swords, blind spots are protected. The Three of Pentacles. Working together for a new fit, like a new expression, a new way to express it. Yep, that had once been clouded, okay? Or floaty, just in the mind space, alright? So it's like saying that, because it has the eye, like all-seeing eye here, okay? And so, often, like, beings with horns are, like, there's, like, the whole thing of horns of divinity, and, like, you can dive into that, symbolically speaking, but they're usually related to the deep subconscious, okay, the shadow aspect, the darker shade of divinity, because divinity isn't just light, okay? Your blind spots, like the Two of Swords, like you were blind. This season is one where what you were blinded to with your human eyes, okay, but you could see with your spiritual eye, because you notice the eye up here, and then there's an eye just beneath that. So like you have the eye here, that all-seeing eye, which helps you see like that internal space, but it's also showing this eye beneath that. So it's your human eyes, what you were able to physically see. Okay, so being able to physically see that which you were once blinded to, that you have been, like it's something coming into, that you had been working on, finding the balance to achieve, okay? And then new fit, and then there's this cloud here, okay? Hat. An idea, okay? Then we have the, our hat, like, the knowledge you have, what's held, like, hats used to be, like, a symbol of, like, protecting, your crown chakra thing, okay, whatever. And then we have this light, like a lightning bug, like, can't find the word to explain, anyways, I'll get back to it. Then we have the Hanged Man, a shift in perspective to bring The whole family. Okay, we did have the family room there. Seven of Wands. Directions. To give and to get more. We are. Down. We're down. Home. We're down to build home. Bright light. Not just okay, something that hurts. There's all these chicks on this little kid. Okay. Ooh, and then we have the trees on the forest. This is the one I use to represent like the subconscious. To me, it's like a forest. Okay. So, anyways, while it's not just all right. So the bright light is not just something, or maybe it's saying not just, like not justified in hurting someone in the imagination while here. Okay. And then we have Lucky Cherry. Luck did come out. Lucky. Alright. Cherries are often, but this has 3. It's not just 2 cherries stemmed together, because usually that means like 2, they're stemmed from the same source. Alright, this is 3, so this is given the Trinity kind of vibes. Alright. The right gear. Outgrown. Experimental. Deaf. My adrenaline is pumping. Truly. Well-deserved rest. Dramatic. More. Up to par. Oh. So it's like the behaviors and stuff, like the things you're imagining, whatever, while you let yourself rest, is more in alignment with, this potential, because like the O, like this is why 0 is like my favorite, whatever, is more up to par with what's been held in this creative space. Like a lot of work has been done in that inner world to keep everything from being so drifty. Okay, so when you shine your light of awareness on it, it's not burning it, it's not hurting it. Like this does reflect quite a bit of what was said in the reading. Let's do one more little pull here. The 7 of Cups. Page of Cups. These ideas, yeah. 10 of Cups of how you were going to bring this forward, how you were going to... Alright, but then again, we were talking about somebody writing something, and then there's this crow here, like, maybe translating something. Maybe your shadow had written this, and it's something that you are able to speak through your mouth, profess outwardly, and thus it trigger into this event. Okay, ooh, and then we have the bat. The Knight of Cups. This book. 7 of Swords. Bird. Ooh. That song by the Ting Tings. That's not my name. They call me Stacy. They call me her. They call me Jane. That's not my name. That's not my name. That's not my name. That's not my name. They call me Quiet, but I'm a riot. Mary Jo Lisa, always the same. Okay, and then it has that, are you calling me darling? Which is, are you calling me bird? And there's bird. Well, everybody's heard about the bird. Bird, bird, bird. Bird is a word, okay? Alright. This is coming on. See, the way stuff comes through is a bit odd. Okay, I understand it can be cringy, whatever. It's whatever. It is what it is, though. We have the spider, so it's like the web weaver. Spiders. But like, Native American, like the mother spider, she protects like the dream realm, okay? And then we have like Two of Cups. And then we have the crown here, the same one that was on the sovereign, okay? Okay, we have this Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. How to explain it? Policing. Like, so you're not policing your thoughts. You're not inhibiting the land of make-believe, your imagination, alright? Your, oh shit! To the land of make-believe, and you have this harp here, okay? This is an instrument that's, like, very symbolic. You can look into that, okay? But, it's, you know that song, I heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord, but you don't really care for music, do you? Okay, then we have, If I Bleed, You'll Be the Last to Know. The red boots, being able to wade through water, emotions, and then there's this pig with the hat and the monocle. Bone. Yep, okay, so, I know that sounded like all disconnected as I was like, yeah, but, okay? The Seven of Swords, so this story, okay, like bats are usually, a bat and a bird, they both fly, okay, one's usually associated with the day, one's usually associated with the night, okay, but you, in your mind here, in your imagination, in your creative womb, you have been holding on to this vision of how the balance between these two aspects can work together, okay, the light and the shadow, the dark and the light. They both, you know, the crow is black, the bat is black, okay? So it's like a shadowy aspect of both light and darkness. So, which I know seems like kind of paradoxical to have dark light, but it is a thing, and you can have light darkness as well. It's about balance. But then you have the Knight of Cups, okay? So it's like the shadow aspect, like this offer, this bringing this message or something to you to write down, right? Okay, so in the Seven of Swords, picking what you can out of it, taking what you can from the to interpret, right, and weave it into a cohesive foundation structure. Like for the spider, the web is the foundation, right? And the Two of Cups, the unity, a union, love to come together, okay? And in that, okay, it's like inheriting this crown, right? And this is like, okay, so if you know like dendrites, okay, and fractals and stuff, this represents a lot of that, how things branch out, right? And then you have this little source here. Every time I look at this, I think of kidneys, and I think of like purifying, right? Purifying blood specifically. Okay, and it's like this rare thing, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, right? It lit Santa's way forward during mind fog, and this here as this foggy thing. So, and like this lightning bug, lightning bugs come out at night, right? To light up little parts of the night. Same thing with like Rudolph, lighting up what was clouded, foggy, okay? Because it is hard to explain it. But instead of cutting the imagination off and trying to just blow it away, you know, you really, you dive deeper into your inner world, that whole make-believe thing, then I will go to that world and I will make believe an instrument to help me get this out, like another, a sound, a vibration, the heartstrings, right? Something like that. And If I Bleed, You'll Be the Last to Know. Okay, that's from it's cringy as it sounds, Taylor Swift song. It's called Cruel Summer. Okay, the lyrics are absolutely amazing, whether or not you're a Taylor Swift fan. I'm not a Taylor Swift fan, but I take everything as something, okay? There was something very significant about the lyrics of that song, especially like Little Ones, and If I Bleed, You'll Be the Last to Know. It also has to do with like, if you know about it, great. If you don't, great. But a dagger, or a sword held in Mary's heart, okay? And if I bleed, you'll be the last to know, because anybody else never bothered to follow the blood trail, right? And this also goes into, I'm getting the song, it's a song by Sleep Token. I don't know the name of it, but it's like, I got a river running right into you. I've got a blood trail, the red and the blue. Okay? Something you say or something you do, the taste of the divine. Okay? And then being able to because like the boots are red, so it was like walking that trail, right? Okay, and so you have this pig and everything with the hat and a monocle. And what's interesting here is it's also with bone, like something is bone deep. It's not superficial, and like usually pigs are associated with like something that's superficial about the flesh, okay, corrupt flesh, right? So but this is something carried down to the bone. It's visceral. It's deep. It's deeper than that. It's even down to essence, okay? Um and bones are considered like the foundation of the flesh, that hold it up, give it structure, what have you, okay? And it could also just speak on a lot of the reason why a lot, because we were talking about in the reading how you have like a pure consciousness, right? Your light of consciousness has this purity to it, right? It's bone deep. So you can wade past those who tried to come only to a certain level because they only looked with this, like their eyes, right? They're wearing a hat, keeping their intentions, their ideas, their thoughts covered, okay? Only looking through one eye. So they didn't have the ability to see down to what needed to be seen. That blood trail that I was mentioning that came to whatever. But yeah. I know it sounds like a bunch of, it's just the way I get messages. It gets a little, if you can grasp it, if you get it, and if you can pull something from it, great. If it sounds like just a bunch of chaotic nonsense to you, then I totally respect that. Also, I get it. But, yeah. So there's that. I hope this helps somebody make sense of something that they're going through. The holidays seem to have been significant. Like, because it's mentioning the season, and, what was that? It's like druidic. Anyway, what I'm being told is that, there's something specific about winter, where, like, winter magic is something very ancient, very old, okay? And it's that time when the old gods, ancient energies, what have you, can come closer to that veil space, okay? But anyways, if you got something from it, great. If you got nothing out of it but a cringe or what have you, then, well, at least you have something to cringe over. So, yeah. Till next time. Bye.